The real reason. Ozzy Osbourne's son missed his funeral. Ozzy Osbourne was born John Michael Osbourne in Birmingham, England, on December 3, 1948. Ozzy, one of 6 children in a humble Birmingham household, was raised industrially. Father Jack Osbourne was a toolmaker, while Mother Lillian worked in a car parts plant. John Michael's dyslexia and potentially undiagnosed attention deficit disorder hindered his early education and social connections. Despite these obstacles, his magnetism and unusual voice foreshadowed eventual stardom. Osbourne joined Black Sabbath in the late 1960s, starting his musical career. Ozzy, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward defined a global culturally influential genre. With albums like Paranoid and Master of Reality, Black Sabbath pioneered strong riffs and haunting lyrics about war, societal issues, and the occult. Ozzy was known as Prince of Darkness for his raw, creepy, and passionate vocals. The band became one of the first and most influential heavy metal bands, leaving a legacy that still resonates with musicians and fans. Personal troubles, especially substance misuse, plagued Ozzy despite his musical success. His drug and alcohol problems were well publicized and jeopardized his job and personal life. His music and public presence were more authentic due to his hardships. His honesty about addiction has destigmatized it and inspired many admirers to get assistance. Ozzy's ability to overcome these challenges and perform at his best into his 70s shows his perseverance. After leaving Black Sabbath, Ozzy's solo career secured his place in rock history. Ozzy's growth as an artist was shown by successes like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley on Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. He worked with talented musicians like Randy Rhoads and Zakk Wylde to create his sound and add intensity. His solo work showed survival and progress as he experimented with numerous styles and ideas while retaining his rock icon status. The early 2000s reality TV show The Osbournes made Ozzy a cultural sensation beyond music. Breaking the rock star cliché, the show showed his intimate, hilarious, and chaotic home life. He became popular outside of music with this new platform. The show humanized Ozzy as a loving father and husband, balancing stardom and family with honesty and comedy. The significance of Ozzy goes beyond entertainment. He represents endurance and innovation. He has inspired millions with his perseverance and passion as he tours and records despite severe health issues, including Parkinson's disease. His impact on heavy metal is immense. His songs are still played on rock radio and live internationally, and many artists look to him for inspiration. His legacy as the godfather of heavy metal will live on through decades of trailblazing art, legendary performances, and a life lived on his own terms. Ozzy Osbourne met Thelma Riley in Birmingham's Rum Runner nightclub in 1971, a turning point in his personal life. The Rum Runner was a nexus for musicians, artists, and local nightlife, where future rock legends met. Osbourne met his first serious girlfriend, Thelma, who worked there. Ozzy's blossoming Black Sabbath reputation and hectic lifestyle didn't stop them from marrying later that year. Their marriage produced 2 children fast, Louis and Jessica. Jessica and Louis Osbourne were born into a turbulent environment shaped by Ozzy's lifestyle and fame. Ozzy adopted Thelma's 5-year-old son Elliot Kingsley from a previous relationship, becoming a father in a mixed family at a young age. The marriage was immediately strained by Osbourne's music career and personal issues. Ozzy later called his first marriage a terrible mistake, a harsh yet honest reflection on his struggles juggling family and stardom. Ozzy's family life was severely impacted by the 1970s rock scene's heavy alcohol and drug use. Thelma managed the household and raised the children alone due to his frequent Black Sabbath traveling. Jessica, Louis, and Elliot complained over the years that Ozzy wasn't a caring father. Parenting was difficult due to his addiction and volatility. The 2011 documentary God Bless Ozzy Osbourne, produced by his son Jack, explored this delicate family relationship. Ozzy claimed in the film that he did not remember the birth dates of his first 2 children, Jessica and Louis, highlighting his emotional hardships during those formative years. Osbourne started dating his manager, Sharon Arden, during his first marriage's upheaval. Sharon was no ordinary manager. Her family was musically powerful. Her father, Don Arden, was a famous music manager, and she had the commercial skills and desire to mold Ozzy's solo career. Despite numerous conflicts and Ozzy's legal marriage to Thelma, Sharon and Ozzy's love evolved swiftly. The excellent guitarist who had recently joined Ozzy's band, Randy Rhoads, predicted in 1981 that the duo would marry. His insight was right. Sharon and Ozzy married on July 4, 1982, to make Ozzy remember their anniversary. Ozzy changed after they're married. He started his own career with a more solid household. The couple had 3 kids: Amy, Kelly, and Jack Osbourne, born September 2nd, 1983, October 27th, 1984, and November 8th, 1985. Kelly and Jack, who became television stars, were among these youngsters. Ozzy got a vasectomy after Jack was born, signaling a new chapter in his personal life when he focused on his family without adding more children despite celebrity and health issues. Music reflected Ozzy's relationship with his kids. He wrote songs about his love and wishes for his kids. He wrote a touching song for his daughter Amy, which appeared as a B-side on his 1995 seventh studio album Osmosis. Amy closes the song by declaring, "I'll always be your angel," reflecting the lyric's love and protective message and showing Ozzy's more vulnerable side with his daughter. The song My Little Man from the same album was dedicated to his son Jack, reflecting the father-son bond in an intimate way. Ozzy's music showed his wish to reconnect with his children despite past problems. Jack Osbourne, the only son of iconic guitarist Ozzy Osbourne and media personality Sharon Osbourne, was absent from his father's burial, sparking speculation. Some attributed it to scheduling issues. Others thought it was private. Some said it was because he was too grieving to accept loss. Insiders close to the family say the truth is deeper. Jack Osbourne's absence stems from a lifetime of trauma, dysfunction, and psychological scars from his famously turbulent upbringing with Ozzy and Sharon. Jack had a unique childhood. Jack lived in a volatile household that alternated between extreme love and extreme dysfunction due to his father's heavy metal music, addiction, and unpredictable behavior, and his mother's fierceness and control. He was exposed to the darker side of fame, media attention, addiction, and the Osbourne household's volatile emotions from an early age. Ozzy's alcohol and drug problems became public, saw his father's most vulnerable, unpredictable, and frightening moments, which left lasting psychological scars. Sharon was deeply dedicated to her children, yet complex in Jack's life. Her strong-willed nature and employment as Ozzy's manager created intense familial power relations. Jack often felt forgotten or emotionally displaced due to her aggressive manner and the necessity to manage a global rock brand in a volatile household. Trauma wasn't always loud and singular. Slow-burning emotional where leaves enduring wounds over years. The Osbournes' reality show made them a pop culture phenomenon, but it also put Jack under public scrutiny that no teenager can take. From dysfunction to tantrums to breakdowns, the cameras captured their private misery for the world's enjoyment. Fans watched a funny, wild family navigating fame, but Jack lived differently. One filled with tension, pressure, and the strain of being okay while silently dissolving. This public-private clash exacerbated his inner turmoil. Jack struggled for years to overcome his upbringing. He went to rehab young, subsequently championing mental health and addiction awareness. He reconstructed his life, focused on parenthood, and succeeded in television and documentary filmmaking. Even as he changed paths, his upbringing haunted him. Jack has spoken on the emotional hardships of growing up in a loving, eccentric, chaotic, and often traumatic household. Jack was likely grieving and dealing with his father's legacy by Ozzy's funeral. Attending the burial would have meant facing his father's death and his childhood's emotional ghosts, untold pain, and unhealed wounds. The strain of persistent stress. He would have had to recreate a story he had spent his adulthood rewriting. In the end, Jack's absence didn't mean he rejected or ignored his father. It was his last silent effort of self-preservation after decades of healing from his past. To Jack Osbourne, not attending Ozzy's funeral wasn't disrespectful. Finally choosing calm over anguish, distance over dysfunction, and personal healing over public performance. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness and Black Sabbath frontman, died peacefully at his Buckinghamshire home on July 22nd. 76 years old. His death ended a remarkable rock and heavy metal era. Osbourne died in his countryside estate, which he had regarded as a refuge from fame. He was surrounded by his wife Sharon Osbourne, children Jack, Kelly, and Amy, and several grandchildren. People had congregated in recent days, feeling the end. He died after years of health issues, including a rare form of Parkinson's disease, spinal damage from a 2019 fall, and other issues that have reduced his movement and vitality. He joked and remained mentally alert to the end, recalling his life and legacy with loved ones and listening to his music. The proximity to a powerful and emotional final performance made his death more tragic. 17 days earlier, on July 5, 2025, Osbourne performed at the Back to the Beginning farewell concert, drawing tens of thousands of fans from around the world. The concert was staged at Villa Park in Birmingham, his hometown and Black Sabbath's birthplace, completing his musical journey. Osbourne sang Crazy Train, Iron Man, and Mama, I'm Coming Home in an emotional set despite being feeble and needing help walking on stage. Raw emotion and nostalgia infused the performance. Fans saw a rock history milestone. He performed with former Black Sabbath colleagues and guest musicians influenced by his music, making the concert a celebration of his legacy and an unofficial farewell. Osbourne reportedly felt peace and closure after the farewell concert, telling family and friends that he had done what he was meant to accomplish. His life was long and full, a tale of epic highs, terrifying lows, and a mythic rock opera redemption arc. His death shook the music industry immediately. Artists, celebrities, and fans praised him for inventing music and surviving. From biting a bat head on stage to talking out about his mental health in later years, Osbourne was always himself. He entered the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and millions of hearts with this trait. A magnificent life that defined heavy metal and inspired generations of artists ended with his death. Ozzy Osbourne was a father, husband, and cultural figure who influenced television, fashion, and pop culture as well as music. His records and performances will live on, but so will his attitude of rebellion, genuineness, and resilience throughout his stormy and glorious path.